Hmm. Isn't that very interesting? Debt is power, essentially. Um, I was reading this book, or I'm reading rather this uh, graphic novel series, East of West, and they were talking about how did he maintain power, or how do you get in control. He said that if you have something that you need, right, and you can't afford it, don't take it, right? But if you have the opportunity to do that for someone else, take up that opportunity because essentially debt is power because you end up essentially owning them, right? Even if you take, for example, Denzel's part in Gladiator. Not really a spoiler, but in case there is, I do fair warning that somebody owed Denzel's money, right? I won't say who, but someone owes him money, and essentially just having owed him, he essentially takes ownership of him and his possessions within the film. But I think it's very interesting that how normalized debt is, and to the extent that it seems like you just can't get by. Like you have to have debt, and then debt becomes a form of equity. Like even I think about like me and my life, and currently who do I owe? I don't have a mortgage as of now, but student loans. I have medical bills, and then I have car. Right, this car that I have, I fucking hate my car. But I owe these people. Um, it's considered assets. It's considered a sense of status because like, hey, yeah, I owe people, but it's like, oh, you're able to afford these loans and different things and ownership. But what does it all mean? Is it really worth it? I remember a time when I was young, right? I'm still young relatively right now. I'm only 27, right? But there was a time in life where I didn't have to worry about bills. I didn't have to worry about this. I didn't have to worry about that, right? And even though I named those three as far as debts, there's still constantly utilities and bills and shit that I have to pay on a daily basis or monthly basis, bi-weekly basis, weekly basis. But why is it this way? Like it's always paying something. There's always another bill. And I look forward to the time where I just don't have to worry about it, or to the sense that money becomes so obsolete that it doesn't even fucking faze me. Like I have so much money and wealth that to have something in expense or something on automatic payment doesn't faze me. It doesn't change my perspective on things. And unfortunately, it's just like the time that I live in, that debt uh, can become power, but is only power for those that do who do the owing, right? But then also the ability to pay, because if you're not able to pay and you default on loans, it just takes and it's just one thing after the other and after the other, and then sometimes it becomes unrecoverable, right? And is that even ethical? I remember one friend telling me an example of having a phone similar to like the one that I have, right? And they missed one payment and they had a derogatory mark. I don't know what a derogatory mark is, but I know what it does. Take their fucking score. And it's just like, ugh, like you have one mishap, you have all these things, but if you're just delinquent on one of them, it can essentially ruin your life in the sense that you're not able to get certain things, like being able to move into an apartment. You need good credit to be approved for a car or something like this. It's like this ideology that you can just buy things and everything in cash. It just doesn't work. Everything's credit. Even it got to the point where certain restaurants, I know for example Sweet Green, at least the time that I worked there, do not take cash. And it's just very interesting. Like for the rest of my life, unfortunately, maybe even for yours, we will be paying someone. We will owe somebody money. Does that not bother you? Does that not upset you? Because it's just like, oh yeah, it's the way cities. It has always been this way. Yeah, that is a food for thought. Little frustration. If you agree, if you have something to comment on it, how are you feeling about this? Constantly, this debt is power, but then also, what does debt make you feel? Right? Comment down below your thoughts. But of course, as always, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.